Hi guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes, and I'm bringing you today's, the latest Q post from today, April 18th. Now, Q is responding to this Anon, and this Anon posted just like a little cutout of an article from the Drudge Report, and it says officials investigating suspicious death of McMaster's father. Now, McMaster was the former Trump national security advisor, and this is the death of his father. So it says authorities in Philadelphia are investigating possible neglect in the death of the father of President Donald Trump's former national security advisor. So this Anon posted this, and then further down, here's another article. It looks kind of stretched out. There we go. And it says, hang on here, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Philadelphia, authorities in Philadelphia are investigating the death of the father of President Donald Trump's former national security advisor, sources tell CBS 3. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, H.R. McMaster Sr., the father of General H.R. McMaster, died on April 13th at the Cathedral Village retirement community located in the 600 block of East Cathedral Road. Let me move down here. The health department confirms he died of blunt impact trauma to the head, and the manner of death was determined to be an accident. But how could blunt impact trauma to the head be? Well, I guess you could fall. But sources tell CBS 3 that Philadelphia police and the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office are investigating the possibility of institutional neglect after he fell. Sources could not provide further details at this time. General McMaster served under Trump as the 26th National Security Advisor. In March, he resigned from his role and was later replaced by former U.S. Ambassador John Bolton. So, going further, this Anon says, sources, official investigating death of father, former Trump national security advisor, and then says, number 1, the health department confirms he died of blunt impact trauma to the head, and the manner of death was determined to be an accident. 2, but sources tell CBS 3 that Philadelphia police and the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office are investigating the possibility of institutional neglect after he fell. So this Anon posted this thinking that it was, maybe a strange anomaly, and I would agree. So Q responded to that, and in no uncertain terms, he tells us what happened to him. 187, which is murder. He was murdered. And then he gives us the reason. Failure to retain position /ear. He no longer had the ear of or had a position, and I guess he was disposable. They dispensed of him. Why, I don't know, but it's interesting. This happened on the 13th of April, I believe. I just read. Was it? Let me go back up here. Well, I'm not sure where I got that from, but I thought it said the 13th of April somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where I saw that now. But anyway, so it's interesting that Q, he's not the one that brought that. He, she, they are not the ones that brought it up. This Anon found it, and then Q acknowledges it. So that's interesting in and of itself, because it wasn't important enough for Q to alert us to the fact, but then after an Anon finds it, Q acknowledges, yeah, he was murdered. So he says threats are real. War is real. Good versus evil is real. Think State of the Union. Free. And I think, here he's saying, we want the State of the Union to be free. That's what I think he's saying. Coincidence? I don't know. I don't know what he's referring to here. Is it a coincidence that this guy died? Probably not. Obviously, Q is telling us that it isn't a coincidence that he was murdered. He was murdered because he failed to retain position or the ear of someone. Then he says Delta engine fire. Coincidence? No, I don't think that's a coincidence at all. How rare are engine fires? I think they're pretty rare. I think it's happened in the past because I remember reading somewhere that it had happened to that airline in the past, which was Southwest. But this was the first fatality for Southwest Airlines ever of a passenger. So they have a very stringent safety record. Think logically. Well, that's what we're doing. And logically doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, there's a possibility that it could be a coincidence. Q is telling us it's not. But if we didn't have that intel from Q, we might think it was a coincidence or, that it was strange. But I think it's odd that the only person that died was on row 17. She's an executive for Wells Fargo. The pilot of that airplane, actually, I was reading, I'll get to that later because I had a little clip of that and I thought it was very, very impressive about this woman. So we'll get to that in a bit. And we'll move on to the next post because there really isn't that much tonight to go over. No. This Anon posts this. I'm not even going to get into this mess, and I'll tell you why. Q says it's fake. Fake. Q. So there's no sense in us getting into this mess because it's a waste of your time and it's a waste of my time because Q has already deemed it fake. So why should we look at it? That's how I view it. If Q was, telling us to take a look at it, sure, we'd go through it all. But, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me to do that. All right. And then the last post for tonight, not excluding the fact that he may post later, but he posts this from Breaking 911. I really do like Breaking 911. I'm subscribed to them on Twitter. Or I follow them on Twitter rather, and they do have some really good stuff. I usually check them out every day. This is from Twitter, obviously, and it says breaking. Governor Jerry Brown says California has reached agreement with the Trump administration on National Guard border mission, AP. And this is posted by an Anon and just, to the boards, and Q responds, he had no choice. Q. I love it. Just direct and to the point. He had no choice. Q. So that's it for the post tonight, the drops. So, but I do have a couple other things to show you here. Let me see where I got them. Here they are. Let's go up here. Okay. Now, I got this from the boards. No, actually I didn't. Sorry. I got this from Twitter. Somebody had copied it from the boards, but it was on somebody's Twitter. And I don't know if this is true, but it's the breakdown of what these guys would be charged with. Comey, obstruction of proceedings, obstruction before Congress, public money, property or records, embezzlement, gathering, transmitting, or losing. And I'm not going to go through all this, but it's just, I thought it was interesting, and I pulled it out and copied it. And it goes through Comey, Hillary Clinton, Lynch, McCabe, Stronk. I think that should be Strzok, not Stronk. Page, everyone who signed warrant application. So, and then beneath they said, it's happening. Then, Let's go out here. This is exciting. Woohoo, woohoo. No, really it is. Well, look at this. Breaking. Articles of impeachment drafted for Rosenstein, report says. Yeah. Get him. Get him, Q. Get him, Trump. So on Friday, Fox News reported that articles of impeachment have been drafted for Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, although they have not yet been officially filed. Fox News congressional reporter Chad Pergram reported that the articles of impeachment have been drafted, although it is not clear which lawmaker drafted the articles, and it's not clear if they will go to a committee or to the floor. So that is exciting. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. And, all right, I thought this was interesting too. I thought you guys might appreciate knowing this if you don't already. The stage could be set for major false flag terror. At the exact same time, crap about Iranian terror sleeper cells was being reported by the mainstream media, 640 pounds of TNT was stolen in Pennsylvania, along with 400 blasting caps. Eyes open. Yeah. Let me make this bigger so we can see. So this is mainstream media. Experts, Iran, Hezbollah have radicalized thousands of Latin Americans. And then on Fox, we have 640 pounds of high explosives stolen in Pennsylvania. ATF offers reward. All right, now. Thought this was a good tweet as well. Rosenstein is having big problems. Congress is demanding he be removed from all investigations involving FISA or the DOJ IG. This is why POTUS doesn't need to fire anybody. Yeah. Criminal referral issued for Comey, Clinton, Lynch, and McCabe, Rosenstein. Neither U.S. Attorney John Huber nor special counsel, if appointed, should report to Rosenstein. Yep. Now, okay, here's comedy time, okay? Because we deserve it. We've all been working hard. Well, I don't know that you've been working hard, but I would imagine that you have. So you deserve a laugh, right? Sure you do. Well, first of all, let's look at this meme right here. My ex-boss is a big poo-poo head with little hands. And of course, this is little James Comey. I thought that was very cute. But let's go to something unbelievably hysterical, I think. This man has issues. No, seriously. He's got issues. Former FBI director keeps tossing out cheap schoolyard insults in an attempt to sell books and attract praise from the mainstream media. Not working. It's not working. Trevor Noah, The Daily Show host, summed up former FBI director Jim Comey's recent media appearance with perfectly when he said the man sounds like a guy who got fired from White Castle. I would agree. Comey has said some truly bizarre things about both himself and President Donald Trump in his desperate attempts to sell books and get backslaps of approval from the media. In one of his latest mainstream media appearances, Comey, trying to squeeze out every drop of adulation possible from his audience, said he was like a breakup. It was like a breakup the President of the United States couldn't get over. I think he's over it. Hang on. We're going to get there, but not right yet. Okay. He tweeted at me probably 50 times. I've been gone for a year. I'm like a breakup he can't get over, Comey told its late-night host Stephen Colbert on Tuesday night, earning yucks naturally from the left-wing crowd. Even Colbert, who has had some pretty shocking things about the president himself, seemed taken aback by the odd statement from Comey. At this point, the former FBI chief, he served for less than 4 years, seemed committed to throwing out schoolyard insults as he tries to drum up sales for his book. He sounds more like someone who is preparing to appear on a reality program like Big Brother than the former head of the nation's primary law enforcement agency. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to play this for you. Hang on.
Let's talk about the president for a second. You said as long as you're not making stuff up. The president has said some kind of fun things about you. He has called you in the last few days. He has called you Slippery Jim. And he has called you a slime ball. Anything to say back?
No, he's tweeted at me probably 50 times. I've been gone for a year. I'm like a breakup he can't get over. He wakes up in the morning.
Wow.
I'm out there living my best life. He wakes up in the morning and tweets at me.
Wow.
Not exactly. Not exactly. No. Comey is out there being a publicity whore and, writing this book, which I'm sure he didn't write. I'm sure he had a ghostwriter, and he needs to fire the ghostwriter because it's horribly, horribly written, and should have advised, whoever his ghostwriter is, should have advised him not to put in things like, his little penis envy of the president, with the hands. I think he needs to just take his little hands and go home. Like, call it a day. But, this is ridiculous because Comey's the one that's putting this in the news and Trump is responding. It's not just like Trump wakes up out of the blue. I think I'm gonna tweet about Comey and his little hands. Come on, guys. Like, this man has issues. Issues, I tell you.
He needs to move on, huh?
Yeah, you would think
Moves
so.
on. Maybe even move. Okay.
But my reaction, honestly, is a shrug.
What's that?
My first reaction to those kind of tweets is a shrug. Like, oh, there he goes again. But actually, then I caught myself, and I said, wait a minute. If I'm shrugging, are the rest of the country shrugging? And does that mean we become numb to this? It's not okay for the President of the United States to say a private citizen should be in jail. It's not normal. It's not acceptable. It's not.
You're not a private citizen. You're not. You were the former head of the FBI. And you've done things for which you should be in jail. Indictable things. Punishable things. You're not a private citizen out there that the President of the United States is saying, I think I'm going to try and get to him. I think I'm going to tweet him today because I have nothing else to do. Like, come on. Like, what planet is this guy from? Seriously.
Not okay. But it's happened so much. There's a danger we're now numb to it, and the norm has been destroyed. And I feel that norm destroying in my own shrug. And so we can't allow that to happen. We have to talk about it and call it out. It's not okay.
Well,
It's not okay. It's not okay. He thinks that we're a nation of shruggers. He needs a hug. Come here, Comey, I'll give you a hug. You and your little hands. It's okay. It's okay. Penis size is not all it's cracked up to be, okay? Really. It's okay. Some of the women that love him in his life, like a wife, I don't know if he's married, probably married. His wife should have told him that, something, it's not all about size. Because this man obviously has some issues around that. He was bullied, pushed into the locker, and Trump scared him. He needs a hug. Give him a hug. We need to stop being a nation of shruggers. It's not okay that President Trump is tweeting about him. It's okay that he's written a book about Trump, but it's not okay that Trump is tweeting in response. How dare he? He and his big hands. Or are they little hands? Well, I think Comey said that his hands were smaller than Trump's, but that Trump had small hands, so what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. And how does, what state does that leave us in as a nation? I don't know. But let's go back. I'm going to move on now. Now, this is interesting. CNN wanted to know if our president is morally fit to serve. So they asked a porn star. Yeah, and you know something? It goes right over the heads of the liberals. They don't even see the irony in that. So, oh yes, this I'm going to show you quickly and then I'm going to finish. I wanted to show you this, guys, because I was impressed. I didn't know this. Veteran Navy pilot is a hero in fatal Southwest flight. God bless her and all the crew, one passenger said of Tammy Jo Schultz, whose nerves of steel helped her land the stricken plane. I do think had there been a pilot that was not as skilled as her, that could have brought down the entire aircraft, and maybe that was the plan. I don't know. The Southwest Airlines pilot who made an emergency landing Tuesday after the jet blew an engine and lost a window at 32,000 feet was one of the first female pilots to fly with the U.S. Navy, the New York Post reported. Tammy Jo Schultz, 56, was calm as she navigated the damaged Dallas-bound jet, Flight 1380, to an emergency landing in Philadelphia, the report said. The twin-engine Boeing 737 that left New York's LaGuardia Airport had 143 customers and 5 crew on board. One passenger died after she was reportedly hit with shrapnel from the explosion. Jennifer Riordan of Albuquerque, New Mexico, was identified as the woman who died. Riordan, was the mother of 2 and a Wells Fargo bank executive. 7 others were injured. There was a part here that... Oh, okay, here. One passenger cited by the Kansas City Star lauded Schultz, nerves of steel. Schultz, a Christian, once said in an interview that sitting in the captain's chair gave her the opportunity to witness for Christ on almost every flight. Tammy Jo Schultz, the pilot, came back to speak to each of us personally, wrote another passenger cited by the paper. This is a true American hero. A huge thank you for her knowledge, guidance, and bravery in a traumatic situation. God bless her and all the crew. So that's incredible. It really is. And, she is a hero. She really is. So I just wanted to read that because it's a tragic story, but, a lot of times we don't get the good part, like the good news. And there was good news because, one, it's bad, but, had the whole aircraft come down, there would have been no survivors. So, it's incredible. So, I do have some other stuff, but I think I'm going to call it a night. I think I'll call it a night. So anyway, I will stay on top of these Q posts for you, and I'll bring you any other interesting news that I find. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe.